So I can start mine then?
David can't get in the password.
He was here, oh, he's back.
He can't hear, he can't.
He can't talk, I will give him permission to
Okay.
talk at the appropriate time.
Okay,
You tell him I control that.
I'll let him know, yeah.
Councilman George Brown in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, George. The first item on our agenda tonight is we need to go into the local Board of Health, and we have one request for sewage disposal variances, and we'll deal with those if and when we get into the local Board of Health. Is there a motion to move into the local Board of Health?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Ferone,
Second.
seconded by Person Freer. All those in favor of entering into the Queensbury Local Board of Health, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. We're now into the Local Board of Health. Caroline, would you read to the public the one topic we have to deal with tonight?
This is a public hearing on sewage disposal variance application of James and Patricia Round.
All right. James and Patricia Round live at 34 Pershing Road and own 34 Pershing Road. They need to put a new septic system in. It's a replacement absorption field. I shouldn't say septic system. All they're doing is replacing the absorption field. And they are requesting 3 variances. 2 foot, first variance, 2 foot from the northern property line in lieu of the required 10-foot setback. Second variance, 2 foot from the eastern property line in lieu of the required 10-foot setback. And third variance, 18 feet from the structure in lieu of the required 20-foot setback. So, we have, Tom Hutchins is here, I see, from Hutchins Engineering. Would you like to come forward and explain and describe this system and why we need variances?
Sure. Good evening, Board. I'm Tom Hutchins on behalf of applicants the Rounds. This is a replacement absorption field. It will be replaced in the same location as the current field, although the new field will be significantly larger. What's in there now is a Elgin system from the early days of Elgin, and they were designed very, very small in their early days, and it's failed. So it's, I hope you've had a chance to look at the property. It's to us, it's the logical replacement. We are asking for property line variances of 2 feet to the property line, which is the town right-of-way, which is somewhat deceiving because it's quite a ways away from the road if you look at the property. And then 2 feet to the easterly property line, and we're going to replace the Elgin field with a stone absorption bed. Existing tank will be pumped, inspected, and upgraded if necessary. Sometimes the baffles are bad and need to be replaced, but other than that, it's a replacement field.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Hudson?
No, I mean, it's a pre-existing condition, right? So basically, you're just putting it in the same place, I noticed they have a big backyard, but I wouldn't think they would wanna go to the expense of having to change everything all the way into.
That would be a significant changeover, and,
Sure.
and there is a big swimming pool in the big backyard that isn't on our plan, but there is a
Okay.
pool there, so it would.
All right. Any further questions?
When are we gonna get septic in that area?
I'll entertain a motion for the septic variance for now. We'll discuss that later.
Are you gonna open the
You can
public
have it.
hearing?
Oh, I'll open the public hearing on this. Thank you. Anybody from the public wish to speak on this? All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do three things. From the public, and then I have a call in, and the number is 761-8225. If you have a call in on this resolution before us right now, we have a public hearing on James and Patricia Round's application for a sanitary sewage disposal variance. They live at 34 Pershing Road. The kind of system they're gonna install was just described to you. And so there's three ways of doing this. We have the public present, and I just asked them if they had anything they'd like to comment on in regards to this sanitary sewage disposal variance request. Second is, I have a phone number, and that phone number is 761-8225. It's visible to both Zoom, because we are doing Zoom tonight, and we're doing YouTube tonight. So YouTube members, you are gonna have to call in. Zoom, indicate by raising your hand, your little blue hand, if you have something that you like to say in regards to this sewage disposal variance application for James and Patricia Round. I'm giving people
At 10 p.m.
time to call in or to find your little blue hand to raise so that you can tell me you have a question. George, I put you in as a panelist.
Oh, okay.
All right, I don't see anybody on Zoom. I've had no call-ins for watchers of YouTube. No one present. So I think I've given anybody that wishes to have an opportunity to speak to the board about James and Patricia Round's application for sanitary sewage disposal variance, and I have heard none. So I will now close the public hearing. And I will entertain from the town board a motion to approve James and Patricia Round's application for sanitary sewage disposal variance.
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Ferone,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilperson Menavere. Roll call vote on this, please, Caroline.
Councilpersons Medavir?
Yes.
Freer?
Yes.
Barone?
Yes.
Stroud?
Yes. All right, that passes. That's it for the local Board of Health. May I have a motion to move out of the local Board of Health, please?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Medavir, seconded by Councilperson Ferone. All those in favor of moving out of the local Board of Health, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, it's unanimous. We are now out of the Queensbury Local Board of Health. Our next is a public hearing on a proposed law. Would you share that with the public, Caroline, please?
It's a public hearing on a proposed local law to amend Chapter 179 zoning of Queensbury Town Code to revise Chapter 179-3-040, establishment of zoning districts, and Section 179-4-090, parking and loading regulations.
All right. So, let me tell you a little bit about what we're amending this law. It's enclosed shopping center. There's really only one zone in Queensbury for that, and that's the aviation mall area. We have, and I'm gonna share this with you in a minute, we have 10 letters that have come in, all of which support what we're proposing in terms of amending the enclosed shopping center or the ESC zone. All right. We are amending the zone to allow some additional uses. That's basically what we're doing. What additional uses? Multifamily and apartments. So it will allow apartments. Some people like to call them multifamily. You might be more comfortable calling them apartment. It will allow for those. However, the maximum gross building residential area, in other words, we're talking about total unit square footage, shall be 30% of the total building floor area of all other commercial buildings within the ESC zoning district. So we're gonna allow apartments, residential living, to be part of the former mall existence. I say former mall because it may turn into another community, another word. You know, I'm envisioning some significant changes that will revitalize the aviation mall. We're gonna allow other uses like an amusement center, automotive sales and service, banking, business service, convenience stores, daycare centers, health-related facilities, microbreweries, live theaters, outdoor concert events, places of worship, playground, tavern, more. So we've added a lot of uses, and I'm gonna explain why in a minute. The other thing that we did was made a slight reduction in the required parking spaces for apartments, from 1.5 per unit to 1.25. Keep in mind, it's a mall with a lot of parking. All right, so why are we considering amending this zone? Well, as we know, the traditional retail nature of the mall has not been strongly successful. Maybe that's an understatement. All right, we would like to see it evolve into something much more successful. And we want it to benefit, and we want it to benefit our community. We want to do both. One can't exist without the other. So we are offering a greater variety of services and opportunities that can be offered from this zone. This zone, if this passes tonight, will allow a more diversified economy to exist within that space. An economy that could and would probably provide strong, symbiotic, and synergistic relationships. Our hope is that the changes that we're offering, and may perhaps deal with more so in the future, as times change, we need to change, will help the mall become a mall of the future. It will in turn help make our economy more wholesome. It will help in turn to create a community feel for that area. And for those that live there, it's going to be a walkable community. A walkable community that offers professional services, entertainment, dining, shopping, and more in a walkable community. A new zone that will help the mall energize internally. In turn, it will energize it as a destination point for others, and a place where parking becomes lively again. Let us not forget that only recently Did we allow hotels into the zone? And taller buildings? And that was a great amendment to this zone. So we have a beautiful Hilton Home 2 Suites Hotel on location. So, and at our insistence, the upper level, the hotel, the restaurant, and more is forthcoming, are going to be interconnected with the mall. And this is what we want to see, this interconnected nature. And they have worked with us on it. So that interconnection makes traffic management safer and saner and creates this interconnected relationship that we want and desire. Now, we don't know how long these zoning changes may take to effect a new dynamic aviation mall community. But we do know that the new proposed zoning changes will open new doors, new directions, and new opportunities for this zone. On a side note, some members of the planning board and some others have suggested, why don't we do a PUD? All right, we could. And that's not a bad suggestion, that we do a PUD for an ESC zone. And we should allow it to become a PUD if it wants to. But PUD, by definition, requires structure, requires advanced knowledge of how you're going to develop, and it then, in turn, kind of restricts you to that. We wanted to be more flexible. We wanted to be more dynamic, especially now, something that it can occur rapidly, and for every little change, you didn't have to come back to us. So we didn't think the PUD was appropriate for this particular time. So the opportunity cost, go with a PUD or go with zoning more flexible, more dynamic, perhaps more unique, perhaps nothing else like it. We decided to go with the unique and nothing else like it. It may not suit the comfort level of some people, but we think the flexibility and the dynamics are needed to make things happen. So that's why we went in this direction. This will affect immediate change much better than a PUD could. So imagine yourself living in a community that offers you a beautiful place to live, the movie theater within walking distance, an open mic coffee shop, and you listen to your friends sing, several restaurants to choose from, a sports bar, shopping is right there, professional services are right there, and not to mention visiting your friends who are staying in the nearby hotel, all next to an interstate that you can get to Lake George, Saratoga, the Adirondacks very quickly. What a beautiful arrangement. Okay, now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let the town board speak to this. And then I'm gonna share the letters. I'm gonna summarize them. I'm not gonna read every one of them. I'm gonna summarize the essence of each letter of support. Then I will open it to the public. So I'm gonna open it to the public who's present here first. Then I'll open it to the public who are watching us on YouTube, and we'll call in on that phone number. And the third level of public participation I will seek is through Zoom. I have participants at Zoom. They may want to say something, and they have the ability, as part of the audience, to give me a flag, which is a little blue hand, saying they'd like to speak. I will give them permission to speak at that time. So now, I'll go to the town board, and then I'll do the support letters, and then I'll do the rest. So town board members, any thoughts you'd like to share at this time?
No, I mean, the only thing I would say is that the community should know that this is something we've been working on for a while. I think we started meeting with mall individuals last year, so there've been many meetings on this subject, so we're fully aware of the aspect of what they want and how this is all gonna work, and we're looking for public comment now on it.
And we do have a secret, so after public comment, Town Council Shackner will take us through the part 2 of the seeker. And then if we get by that, then we'll entertain, supporting this at this time or at a later point, whatever the board's wishes. All right, having heard no additional town board thoughts on the matter, I'm going to share with you what I have, some letters. The first one, and there's no particular order here. Michael Newhouse of Regal Cinemas gives support to what we're proposing. It most certainly will help our business as well as other businesses in the mall. The job creation project will help the entire community and represents a significant positive investment in the community and an asset to the entire community. Southern Adirondack Realtors, signed by Catherine McDonough and Louisa Craig Sherman. In summary, it's a support because their board has reviewed what we're proposing tonight and strongly supports it. SAR, which is Southern Adirondack Realtors, continually observes and monitors lifestyle changes that impact the real estate market. And they said that malls have lost considerable market share, that what we're proposing will be beneficial for the community at large. It will encourage investment in the property and can enhance quality of life and will likely boost foot traffic. And the residential aspect would give an all-season walkable nexus between residential structures and the mall itself, representative of optimal life, work, shop, service planning. The Aviation Mall is at the gateway to Queensbury and has long been a focal point and a gathering space for our community. Next letter, again, of support from Timothy Moss, General Managing Partner of 99 Restaurant. This project will create more jobs, bring more residents to the community. It will help grow our business and will help attract more businesses to the mall and the surrounding area. Christine Quill of Kimberly Lane, Queensbury, said that this project and what we're proposing will help grow our population, bring new business to the area, and further development of our economy while maintaining a positive image for our town. Michelle Strait. She is the Director of Community Relations, Veterans, and Community Housing Coalition. The Aviation Mall is a vital part of our local economy, supplying over 900 jobs, significantly contributing to our local county and tax base, and that this residential project will have a creation of the influx of jobs to the local economy, provide new employment opportunities, will allow Queensbury to compete with other local destinations, to retain residents and attract new residents to live, work, and spend money in the local economy. Pyramid as a company is very forward-thinking, and they have been an asset to our community. Approval for this project will allow the mall to further diversify its tenant mix and continue to adapt to changing markets, where malls are becoming more of a mixed-use development complex, along with dining, entertainment, hospital venues, office space, and residential living. NIMS, Chad NIMS. Chad NIMS of NIMS Outdoor Services and Tree Care by Stan Hunt says that what we're doing, or what we're offering, what we're proposing, I should say, will offer opportunities to maintain the grounds and buildings themselves for years to come. My business looks forward to this type of growth and all the possibilities regarding work and services that I may be able to provide. Another letter, of course, of support, John Myers, owner of E1 Rentals. This mall could provide and be a project that is a driver for economic growth, provides for additional opportunities for the local population as well as young professionals coming to the region, bringing new shopping, dining, entertainment tenants to the region. This project will assist in the town's vision to take advantage of the community's high quality of life and experience the benefits of economic development and growth. Another letter of support from Michael Biddle, and Michael Biddle is listening in on us. The ARCC, the Adirondack Regional Chamber of Commerce, supports what we're proposing, this amending of the ESC zone, tremendously help our community and the sustainability of the Aviation Mall property. The Aviation Mall has been a community leader in jobs and taxes for the town and county. Another letter of support from Sharon Reynolds. Sharon Reynolds says, in regards to the Aviation Mall, the proposed changes, she would support this. The mall has been very important to our community in that they have worked with numerous organizations and community groups to host fundraising, and they have helped us with awareness campaigns. And last but not least is a letter of support from the Warren County Historical Society, from Terry Rogers, the executive director. Talks about the economy, technology, and retail industry in general have changed drastically since the original shopping center commercial district was permitted. The changes that we're offering, apartments among others, will have a positive effect in our view. Efforts to keep the mall leased as shopping, dining, entertainment, and lifestyle center. It will assure its ability to continue to be an economic engine in the town of Queensbury. The mall will significantly enhance the quality of life, work, and play for Queensbury residents and visitors to the town and surrounding area. The Pyramid Management Group has been a proven partner with the town for many years through responsible stewardship of their property, ability to generate tax revenue for property, school, and sales, retail employment, and has been a center of the community in terms of outreach and awareness. So I summarized what the support letter said. We did not receive any letters not supporting what we're proposing. Okay. So next, is there anybody present who would like to speak to our proposed changing to amend Chapter 179 zoning of Queensbury Town Code, revise 179-3-040, establishing a zoning districts, and 179-4-090, parking and loading regulations? Anybody here in the public wish to speak to that? Yes, sir, please come forward and identify yourself.
John Lapper on behalf of the applicant. James Griffith, the mall manager, is here, and David Aitken from Pyramid is on Zoom. As George said, we've been working with the town for about 6 months to get to this point, and we appreciate the flexibility to get to this list of proposed uses. I don't have to add much to what the public comments and what the supervisor said, but I'm sure that this will be a win-win for the mall and for the town to make this just a better destination. So thank you for working with us.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? I'll just mention James Griffiths, General Manager of Aviation Mall, is present with us. All right, having nobody from the immediate audience, the on-site audience, who wishes to speak to this, and they are socially spaced. Some are wearing masks, depending on the comfort level, but if you do jeopardize that 6-foot social distancing, please put your mask on. Everything, all the furniture and everything was cleaned prior to this meeting. I'll just mention that. Okay, so our next segment is YouTube. Some of us are watching this on YouTube. I'm gonna give you the opportunity, if you're watching, to call in. I have a phone here, I need to see caller ID. If you don't have caller ID and you're not being identified on the phone, I won't take it. All right, so if you wanna call to offer something for or against what we're proposing today, or a comment in general, doesn't have to be one or the other, you're welcome to do so. Please call area code 518-761-8225. Area code 518-761-8225.
And John, you have, just for FYI, you have about 25-second delay on YouTube.
Is it that bad?
I just checked it a bit ago.
Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, while we're waiting for people, there's a 25-second delay, and just so there will be a delay between those people out there who are watching it on YouTube and may wish to call in. While we're waiting for them, town board meetings. I had a couple of people say to me, no town that we know of in the region does what you do. In other words, we provide 3 formats. We've gone out of the way to be COVID responsible and provide you an opportunity to join publicly on site if you abide by our COVID rules to help prevent the spread of COVID. And you are abiding, and I want to thank the audience. But you're welcome to do that opportunity. You're still welcome to come up here. You notice that we took away the table and chairs. We don't want you touching anything that somebody else may have touched and we haven't had an opportunity to clean. The podium works well. Come up and speak, and then you may sit down. It works well. So we changed that format to accommodate. The second thing we're doing, we have Peter Paper Productions filming for YouTube. And so people that aren't familiar with Zoom, and not the people in government, we've gotten used to Zoom, but the people in large, they're not used to Zoom. So they can watch it on YouTube, they can call me on the phone. That, most people, is pretty easy to do. If you've got the internet, then you can do that. The other format that we have is we have Zoom. And so I see who is currently on Zoom. And if you want to say something, I'll give you an opportunity in a minute because you're seeing me pretty much directly live. I guess there's as much as a 25-second. Usually it's 8 to 10 seconds. There is a slight delay in YouTube, but not in Zoom. So if you want to talk through Zoom, you will, and you will come through the Zoom camera that we have present here. Okay? And so we have Stored Tech helping us to manage that. And we also have Joe Barlow, Jesse Jackson, Look TV, and we're aired 3 times a week. All right, we're aired Tuesdays at 8, Wednesdays at 2:30, Sundays at 10. So what more could we do to be open and transparent? Okay. I don't know what else we do. So I think I've given everybody an opportunity to want to call in, I have not heard anybody. No one has called in. So we'll move to Zoom next. So I see Gina Mitzner, and Michael Biddle, David Aiken, you did have your hand up. Leo Lloyd, all right, you have your hands up, you'd like to speak. So I'm gonna start with Gina Mitzer. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to talk. Gina, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you Supervisor Stroud. Gina Mincer from the Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce and CBP. We are completely pro all development there for the aviation mall, especially because, well, in addition to the fact that it has been an economic engine for the town of Queensbury for decades, and in all due respect for transparency, I'm a Pyramid alum. I worked for the Pyramid companies back in the 90s for 9 years, so I was very familiar with aviation throughout, for the last 30 years, and know of its value to the community, as well as to the numerous jobs that it's created over the years, and its contributions overall to our quality of life here in the town of Queensbury. You have our letter of support, and this is on behalf of our board of directors, our community at large, in terms of our membership of 450 members, and our staff and all of our partners. So we're just really pleased by this development and know that additional apartments and other ways to enhance the shopping center environment there at exit 19 on the property would be great for our community. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gina. Michael Biddle?
Hi, good evening, Supervisor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Michael.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me this evening, and my best to all of those town council members as well, and those viewing these great transparent proceedings. Thank you for reading our letter of support. The ARCC comprises 780 members in our region, and the letter we wrote was on behalf of those members. We've received nothing but positive feedback on the partnership with the Aviation Mall and James Griffith. I just want to talk to a minute about James' partnership and the Pyramid Corporation's partnership with the town of Queensbury and the greater community. James and the Pyramid Mall group have been fantastic, just as recently as providing a Memorial Day Veterans Food Drive, which was fantastic. Last year, partnering with the Chamber as well on many other events for the greater community. I also, Gina had mentioned it as well, with the ties to the community, but my wife actually worked for Caldor, I won't say how many years ago, and I actually worked right across the street at what is now Starbucks, used to be a Papa Gino's many years ago. And as neither of those are in business anymore, certainly not at the fault of the Aviation Mall, things change, and the Aviation Mall has put forth a great proposal to change with the times, continue to be a huge supporter of the community, and continue, hopefully, to provide more tax revenue for the town and the county. So thank you so much for having me this evening. Appreciate you so much, and please, we urge you to pass this change to the mall. Have a great evening.
You too, Michael. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Leo Lloyd. Leo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you folks hear me where you're at?
Yes, we can, Leo.
I'm also in support of what's been proposed for changing the mall. I'm the captain of the local Salvation Army. I've had a chance to serve in most of New England and now upstate New York, and I've seen this type of development happen in the greater Boston area, and I gotta tell you, it's a huge success. We've worked, the Salvation Army along with the Pyramid Group in many malls across upstate New York, and I think that they got the formula for success. So I just want to call in tonight and lend support to this proposal. You would know the Aviation Mall has been a great friend of nonprofits, a great friend of the community. They support us, donating space to us. We're able to give about 1,000 children presents because of the space they were able to donate. And most recently, we did a large drive-through food pantry up at the Aviation Mall that was supported by most of the nonprofits in town. So I just wanted to call in tonight and just really lend support to this idea. I think it's the formula for the future, I really do.
Thank you, Lloyd, and thank you for all that you do for the Salvation Army. Okay. Anybody else in Zoom wish to speak to the board about the proposed zoning changes for the enclosed shopping center? All right. I don't see any. David Aiken, his hand was up earlier, and then it's, that may be,
I think John covered everything.
all right, okay. All right, well, then I'll close the public hearing. Any last thoughts before we entertain a motion? If you wish to entertain a motion this evening, zoning changes or things you don't have to approve on the very evening that you got the public hearing.
Don't we have to do a seeker first?
Yeah, we do, thank you, Harrison.
Thank you, Councilor Freer.
Yes, I thanked them too. All right, so we have before us a secret. Part one is done. Our job is to do part two. And Town Council, Mark Shatner, will lead us through part two. Now, do you all have it open to part two?
You're looking at part two, which is a 10-page document attached to part one, which was signed and submitted on behalf of the mall representatives on March 3rd of this year.
Okay,
Part two starts on the page after the signature page of part one.
you there, Harrison? Okay, we're all set.
Okay, so part two, as you know, has 15 big picture item questions. Our planning staff has made a number of suggestions as possible responses. There's one, the very first one right out of the chute that may need some critical evaluation, as they all do, but I'll read in each case, so I'm giving the board the title of the subject matter, and then I'll read the big picture question, each of the 15 questions. The first question is, the category is impact on land, and the question is, proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site. And just to remind the board, this is a full, also known as a long environmental assessment form, which means that at the, initially, there's a threshold question that's an affirmative yes or negative no. If it's not easy to answer yes or no, then we look to the letter, also formally known as the bullet items, under the big picture topic question to seek some guidance. So the big picture question one is impact on land. Proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site.
The only, and below that, just so the public knows, there are kinds of things that say, all right, while you're thinking about the big question, think about these smaller things. For example, the proposed action may involve construction on land where the depth of water table is less than 3 feet. That's not the case here. So if you read through them, I think that most of them wouldn't be the case, or it'd be a no or small impact. For example, E says the proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases. That may be the case here, but I don't think it's a moderate to large impact. In my opinion, other town board members may disagree with me, and they have the right to do so. But when you go through to try and get a gist of what this question is saying, I'm getting the feeling that it's no or a small impact.
I would agree.
Other town board
So
members?
if I could offer a thought on behalf of town council, this is exactly the one that we thought required some extra critical evaluation. From our perspective, a very, very appropriate, very, very responsible answer to question number one, the big picture question would be affirmative, yes, and then checking off a box in subsection E, which is exactly the one that the supervisor just referenced. The proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases, and you would then check whichever box you felt was more appropriate, no or small impact or moderate to large. We did not rehearse this in advance, but the supervisor's suggestion strikes us as town council as extremely appropriate.
All right, but that's the very reason, town council, that I selected no, because it says in that category, no or small impact.
Correct, but if you get to the sub-question E, that generally means you've initially identified the question as the affirmative. If you're saying no impact, you can check no, but if you're saying no or small impact, then it would be more appropriate to check the big picture question affirmative.
Yeah, so yes on the big picture, no or small impact on E. And we,
Perfectly appropriate, that would be very appropriate, Sean.
All right, is that the?
that's
will-
good, that's good.
Yeah,
with
all
me.
right, that's what we're gonna do for that, number one. We're checking yes, but we're putting down no or small impact for E. Any other, other below
But do we
items?
have to answer the other questions as well?
Yeah, well, we haven't got,
No, do we need to answer every one of the subcategories
no,
now?
I don't believe we do.
You most certainly do not.
Okay.
Okay.
So if we have board consensus that that's the way question one has been answered, we'll move on.
Okay.
We have consensus to move on.
Question two, impact on geological features. The proposed action may result in the modification or destruction of or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landforms on the site such as cliffs, dunes, minerals, fossils, or caves.
No.
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 Question three, impact on surface water. The proposed action may affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies such as streams, rivers, ponds, or lakes.
No. No.
No.
Question four, impact on groundwater. The proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to groundwater or an aquifer.
No.
Question five, impact on flooding. The proposed action may result in development on lands subject to flooding.
No.
No.
Question six, impact on air. The proposed action may include a state-regulated air emission source.
No.
No.
Seven, impact on plants and animals. The proposed action may result in a loss of flora or fauna.
No.
No.
Eight, impact on agricultural resources. The proposed action may impact agricultural resources.
No.
Nine, impact on aesthetic resources. The land use of the proposed action are obviously, supposed to be the land uses of the proposed action are obviously different from or are in sharp contrast to current land use patterns between the proposed project and a scenic or aesthetic resource.
No.
No.
10, impact on historic and archaeological resources. The proposed action may occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource.
No.
No.
11, impact on open space and recreation. The proposed action may result in a loss of recreational opportunities or a reduction of an open space resource as designated in any adopted municipal open space plan.
No.
12, impact on critical environmental areas. The proposed action may be located within or adjacent to a critical environmental area.
No.
13, impact on transportation. The proposed action may result in a change to existing transportation systems.
No.
No.
Mhm. No, right?
No.
No. Okay, consensus, no.
Okay, 14, impact on energy. The proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy.
No.
No.
15, impact on noise, odor, and light. The proposed action may result in an increase in noise, odors, or outdoor lighting.
No.
No.
16, impact on human health. The proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants.
No.
17 and 18 are the last two questions. Be careful because they are extraordinarily poorly worded as essentially double negative questions. 17, the title is consistency with community plans, and it's supposed to be a question, it's not phrased as a question, is the proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plans.
No.
No.
18, consistency with community character. The proposed project is inconsistent with the existing community character.
No.
No.
All right, you've completed part 2 of the full environmental assessment form. You've answered 17 of the 18 questions in the negative or no. You answered one question, namely question 1 in the affirmative as yes, but found the only potential impact to be no or small impact. That completes your review of the environmental assessment form, and if you want to move on to resolution, you can.
Okay, and in the resolution, it already says that we are declaring a secret negative declaration.
That is correct. The first resolve actually constitutes your determination that the proposed legislation will not have any significant adverse environmental impacts, and a secret negative declaration is made and can be filed. That's the first resolve within the resolution.
Okay. Thank you, Town Council Shatner. So we've done seeker. Any last minute thoughts before I,
So,
Yeah.
I would just like to say that for those who hear us use the term seeker all the time, and we're used to it, it's the State Environmental Quality Review Process and Act. So For those who don't know all these acronyms, I just wanted to point that out.
Good point, yeah.
Yes, thank you, good point. All right, so is there a, Caroline?
Councilperson Sprayer,
Yes.
Barone,
Yes.
Stroud,
Yes,
Mattavir.
Yes.
unanimous.
Thanks, everybody.
Good luck, guys.
Well, that was easy.
We thank you, and we hope to see you very soon.
All right, Jane. All right, next. We have 9 resolutions before us tonight. I'm going to go through each resolution and explain that resolution to you. And if the public wishes to comment on any of the proposed resolutions, I will give you that opportunity in 3 ways. The people here first. Second would be the people from YouTube and call-in. And third would be the people on Zoom who wish to talk to any of the resolutions before us tonight. Now, if you have a topic that's town-related, you would like to talk to tonight, it's not related to the resolutions, because this segment of the meeting is for the resolutions only. I will give you that opportunity at the end of the meeting. In other words, at the end of the meeting, people here, people watching us at YouTube, people watching us through Zoom, I will give you a chance at the end of the meeting to talk to us about any town-related topic, okay? But this portion of the meeting is just for the resolutions. Resolution 4.1, each resolution I will give the number in order. Town Clerk Caroline Barber will introduce the resolution and I'll elaborate, and then I'll move on to the next. So 4.1,
Resolution to support the federal funding related to COVID-19 pandemic be directed to all municipalities regardless of population size.
regardless of population size, the federal government recently enacted a coronavirus aid, relief, and economic security, in other words, most people know as the CARES Act, to address economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. $150 billion fund for states, tribal governments, and units of local government with populations in excess of 500,000 people were entitled to this. Well, we had another whereas. Less than 0.5% of the municipalities in the entire United States meets this population threshold. And in New York State, there are 933 towns. 931 are ineligible for direct federal funding under CARES Act, including the town of Queensbury. Towns provide essential services to 9 million New Yorkers and town residents, including but not limited to ambulance, police, fire protection, building and code enforcement, highway maintenance, and have continued to do so throughout the ongoing health crisis. And whereas COVID-19 pandemic has created significant financial stress for local governments in New York State, as an estimated $2 billion in sales tax revenue has been lost, as well as other sources of revenue. And whereas the depletion of different revenue sources for local governments combined with lack of funding will result in reducing essential services and shifting the costs onto real property taxpayers, many of whom are experiencing their own financial stresses. So therefore, be resolved that Queensbury Town Board hereby calls upon the United States Congressional Representative Elise Stefanik, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Senator Charles Schumer, to support federal funding related to COVID-19 pandemic to be directly delivered to all municipalities regardless of population size, including the town of Queensbury. 4.2.
Resolution authorizing contracts for employee group health and dental insurance plans with Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield effective July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021.
All right. We've had another dental program. But Empire, as you know, we started off with a 10% increase. We negotiated We changed a few things around, did not change the essence of the insurance policy. It's still as good as it ever was for our employees. We got it reduced to 6%. Other negotiations took place. If we went with Empire Dental, because we're in the Empire Blue Cross, EPO, if we packaged them, we would save another 2%. Now, 2% of our bill, you're talking $70,000 to $80,000 in savings. So, the union scrutinized this. Larry Paltrowitz, our labor attorney, scrutinized this. The two plans, the one we had previous compared to the one we're proposing now, the Empire Dental plan, were comparable almost to the T. And even in some respects, the Empire plan was a little bit better, such as it will cover your children till they're 26 years old. And I think the bottom line is, given their comparable natures, packaging this will save us an additional 2% in terms of $70,000 to $80,000. 4.3,
Resolution authorizing out-of-district agreement for provision of water services between Town of Queensbury and Paul and Nora Fritz.
all right, Paul and Nora Fritz at 59 Egan Road. They have a water line running by them, but when the water district created, they did, but they now do. So they would like to get town water. So we would give them an out-of-district agreement. They, of course, will have to do the buy-in, $100. They'll have to cover some soft costs, about $350. But this is a resolution to authorize an out-of-district agreement for water between the Town of Queensbury and Paul and Nora Fritz of 59 Egan Road. 4.4,
Resolution authorizing settlement of property assessment cases filed by Walmart.
all right, so Walmart and the town and others, the school and their attorneys, and we've all sat down, Walmart thought that their assessment was unfair. All right, they worked out a program where they think everything is fair for everybody, and it will read like this, that in 2017, 2018, 2019, all proceedings against the town and school district and so forth will be discontinued. There will be no reduction of assessment. There will be no refunds. All right, however, for the years 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, their assessment will be fixed at $11,850,000 and will remain fixed unless there's additional improvements to the property, and then that opens the door to change it. This is the settlement. The school district is expected to approve this settlement as well. And this is the Walmart on Route 9. 4.5,
Resolution authorizing commencement of Supreme Court action to enforce code against non-compliant property located at 32 Homer Avenue.
all right, this home burned down some 10 months ago,
July 14th.
and it's been damaged. It has not been fixed. It's been sitting there. There's other issues with it. Dave Hatton, who was the Director of Building and Codes, is present tonight. We've gotten many phone calls, emails from local residents wondering if something's going to be done by this. We've tried to bring about some change that would be good for the neighborhood here because the structure is unusable and unsafe, and we haven't seen anything yet, and so this starts code enforcement Supreme Court action against this property. 4.6,
Resolution authorizing purchase of one 2021 model HB 507 International 4x4 single axle cab and chassis, and two, a 2021 model HB 513 International tandem 6x4 cab and chassis with plows and spreaders for Highway Department.
all right. This has been in the making for a while. Highway Superintendent Dave Dool is present tonight. This is piggybacking off an existing county bid, and it's for 2 new snowplow trucks. And they can be used for other things than snowplows as well, but we need them for snow plowing. We're short. We even thought about, well, can we go with one of these? We're gonna be short. We need backups, because we have something like 22 trucks, and you have to have backups. You think 22 vehicles are all gonna run every day? You have a snowstorm out there and you go to start it up and everything's gonna work right, the plow's gonna work right, the brakes are gonna work right, everything's gonna work right? No, you need backups. And what happens if you get 1 plow or 2 plows down? It's not pretty. Dave has talked to the town board and pretty much convinced us, given we know that times are gonna be tight next year, maybe it's time to buy these vehicles this year. Now, we have the money. Next year, maybe a different story. We set the money aside, the money's in the budget, he's got the money in his budget. So it's for 2 2021s, one's a single axle, the other one's a tandem. One is to replace a 2002 International with engine failure. That was already sold. We need to replace it. The other one is, and it is to replace a 1998 International Tandem plow truck with 173,000 miles on it that wouldn't pass inspection. We already sold that too. So we're down 2 trucks. All right, so the single axle is $219,238.78. And the tandem is $243,953.92. And you're going, wow, aren't you? They're expensive. They are expensive. That's one reason why we're building a garage to house these units in. They're $250,000 a piece. Let's not keep them outside or keep them where they're too tight. Let's keep them where, in a building designed to keep these very expensive vehicles. All right. But this is a resolution to purchase 2 new vehicles, snowplow basically, for the highway department. 4.7,
Resolution approving an audit of bills warrant of June 1st, 2020.
all right, audit of bills. Bills can't be paid until this town board approves them. This is the bills with run date of May 28th and payment day of June 2nd, 2020, totaling $846,293.07. 4.8,
Resolution ratifying adoption of a revised Town of Queensbury COVID-19 pandemic response plan.
all right. Every 2 weeks, we work with department heads, we work with the community, we work with the county, we work with the town board to upgrade our pandemic response plan. Make sure that we're staying at the level that's appropriate and safe for our employees, safe for the public, and yet get some business done. It is now 38 pages. Okay. 4.9,
Resolution authorizing Fourth Amendment to intermunicipal agreement between Queensbury Town Board on behalf of Queensbury Consolidated Water District and Town of Morel.
all right. This is an effort to get Southlands Falls, which has some maintenance issues, some water from the town. And so, this is just an agreement to give them some water while they do their maintenance. They don't know, this is good until October. So they don't know if they're gonna do their maintenance, so they get to it between now and October. They know that. So in the meantime, we'll supply them with some water, if the town board approves this.
You said give, but we're gonna charge them for it, right?
Oh, yeah, we charge them $2.02 per 1,000
Okay, I just want
gallons,
them to get on it.
which is a darn good price. You know, where else are you gonna get water for $2 for 1,000 gallons that's purified and all that? So those are the resolutions before us. So again, the process is I'm gonna give the people on site an opportunity to speak to any of the 9 resolutions before this board tonight. Then I will give YouTube people an opportunity to speak to it by doing call-in, 518-761-8225. And third, I'll give the Zoom people who are on an opportunity to speak to any of the 9 resolutions before the town board tonight. First, let's go back to the public. Any member of the public wish to speak to any of the 9 resolutions before this town board tonight? Seeing no member of the public. All right. YouTube folks. Right there. Peter Pate. Peter's got it on the number, area code 518-761-8229. Now, while we're waiting for them, Warren County Employment and Training I'm just doing a few notices while I'm waiting for people to call in. If this rings, I'll answer it, okay, as long as there's caller ID. Again, anybody want to comment to any of the 9 resolutions before this town board tonight? Sustaining your business through COVID-19 and beyond. Warren County Employment and Training Administration is partnering with local professionals to help you recover and rebuild. And they're talking short-term, long-term, financial. So if this could be of help to you, call Lisa at 518-338-4315 and let her know what your greatest business challenges are right now, and she connect you with the right resources. Also, in terms of helping our Queensbury businesses, the Lake Champlain Lake George Regional Planning Board is pleased to announce release of COVID-19 Business Interruption Micro Loan Program. That is the Lake Champlain Lake George Regional Planning Board. So they have $5,000 to $25,000 working capital loans, fixed 5% interest rate, first 6 months are interest only, 24 to 60 month terms, sufficient collateral required, no application fee, borrower is responsible for closing costs, that's the flat $350 fee. All right, so get in touch with Andrea Palmer of the Lake Champlain Lake George Regional Planning Board. Doesn't put her number there, but I'm sure you can go online to the website and get it. All right, no phone calls from YouTube people yet, so there's a 25-second delay. Also, I want to announce to the public that our Queensbury local law 5 was filed on May 21st. We now have official short-term rental program as of May 21st. Our EV charging stations are moving along. That's all I need to say there. The new picture of Charlotte is now hanging up in the town, and it is pretty impressive, isn't it, George?
It is. Quite a reproduction.
And so some people are out there wondering, what the heck is he talking about? Charlotte. Who cares about Charlotte? Well, probably people named Charlotte care about Charlotte. But Charlotte was the queen of George III. Now keep in mind, Queensbury, formed in 1762, named after, on behalf of the Queen, in honor of Charlotte. We even were part of Charlotte County, but we got rid of that after we won the Revolutionary War. So Washington sounds better, doesn't it? All right, but they didn't change Queensbury. Queensbury is named in honor of Queen Charlotte. All right, so we have a beautiful portrayal of her sitting across our pat. All right, I think I've given enough time for those people that want to do call in through YouTube. Next is Zoom. Anybody on Zoom, put your little blue hand up if you want to talk to the town about any of the 9 resolutions before the town board tonight. All right, I see no hands. I see the people that are active right now. But again, there's a little thing in the bottom for you to raise a hand. You'll see it at the bottom of the screen. All right, so nobody wants to talk. Okay. So having no public input on the 9 resolutions before us, I'll go to the town board. Are there any resolutions before us tonight that you need to have pulled for whatever reason?
4-2.
4-2. 4-2 will be pulled for an independent vote, and that is because of a potential conflict of interest.
Correct.
Any others?
So, did you get any more feedback on 4-2, from the notes that went back and forth today?
The only 2 people I heard from were Caroline and Steve Levering.
Yeah, and so you responded.
And so I responded, and I didn't hear anything in additional. Okay. So, let's go with 4-2 first.
A resolution authorizing contracts for employee group health and dental insurance plans with Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield effective July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021.
Yes, okay, thank you. Anybody wanna put that forward?
I'll
Put
move.
forward by, moved by, Councilperson Frome,
Second.
seconded by Councilperson Freer. Roll call vote on 4.2, please.
Councilpersons Frome,
Yes.
Stroud,
Yes,
Medevere,
Abstain.
and Freer.
Yes.
resolution passes. The remaining resolutions, 4-1, 4-3, 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, 4-7, 4-8, 4-9. Would anybody who would like to move those
So
forward
moved.
for approval? Moved by Councilperson Freer,
Second.
seconded by Councilperson Medevere. Roll call vote on the remaining resolutions, please.
Councilperson Stroud,
Yes.
Medevere,
Yes.
Freer,
Yes.
Barone.
Yes.
Okay. Any correspondence?
The only correspondence that we had was the public hearing
Okay.
on the zoning change.
And they'll be posted, were they posted or are they posted for people to review them?
I did not post them, no, no, but they will be made a part of the record and,
Okay, that's what I meant. Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Well, someone asked a question. Do I need to do a call-in for the public? I'm watching Zoom. You can do either. I mean, you can call in, or you can use the Zoom, and you can have a little blue hand that you raise up, and either way. All right, now they're gone. Okay. All right, so no correspondence. Privilege of the floor. Anyone like to speak to the town about any town matter? And I'll give it, the people here get first. Then the people watching YouTube can do a call in. You have to have caller ID. The third would be through Zoom and raise your little blue hand. All right, so first, people who are present at the meeting. Is there anybody here who would like to speak to the town board about any town topic? Yes, sir. Please come forward and identify yourself for the record.
Hello, gentlemen. My name is Robert Williams. I live in Queensbury on Country Club Road.
All right, your name is Everett? I'm sorry.
Sorry. My name is Robert Williams, and I live on Country Club Road.
Okay,
We have the Cottage Hill property behind us, and as of lately, we've been having some issues with people coming through the back of our property, either walking the wood line with flashlights at night, 12:45 in the morning. We've seen people in our driveways. My neighbor had gotten broken into, and it's like, they laugh at us. They say, we say we're gonna call the cops. They say, go to call the cops. We'll be gone before they get here. It's a big joke to them. Some of my other neighbors, they have people cutting through the yard to get to Sweet Road because there's a bridge behind 47 Country Club Road that was put in by Brian Durant when it was just a field there. He used to use his four-wheeler to go out back and collect wood when they let him. And the bridge is still there, so it it's like having a big bottle with a leak in it, and the people are they're coming over to Country Club Road. They're using some of the cutting through people's yards. we've all put posted signs up, and they still go through the yards. We tell them we don't want them in our backyards or coming up into our property, but they laugh at us, and, you know, they say, well, you call the cops, we'll be gone before they get here. It's like, you know, I'm starting not to feel too safe, because we had four men out behind our house one night. My daughter had gotten up to let the dogs out, and the dogs were barking, and lo and behold, there were 4 people out behind our garage, and they were smoking pot out there, and I don't know what they were out there for. We called the cops several times, probably 3 times in the last 2 months, and so I made a petition up. I don't think you need a fence around the whole entire property, but I would like to see a stockade fence, maybe around the corner of the property where we're having all the issues from the people. They laugh at us. They think it's funny. They just come to our land, and it's just, they don't have any respect for other people's property. So, and we've heard them going through our cars at night. We've heard it woke up to hearing the door shut on our car. So, and I have one neighbor, 2 houses up, he signed the petition. His car was broken into last fall, and we're thinking they're coming all from behind our property because of that bridge, and there's like a pretty good walk path back there, and we see them with flashlights at nighttime. So I didn't know if I could do anything, but I have a letter. I wrote something up. I didn't know if you want to read it, or I could read it to you. It basically says everything that I just said, so
Mr. Williams, does it have contact information so that I can get a hold of you once I find out more information?
I can put my number on there, my phone number,
Yeah, would you please?
and I have someone else here that would like to speak on our behalf too, that she lives out in front of the said bridge where they're cutting through the property, and Paula Norton's had them coming through her property, and her son was a state police guy. He was sitting in the truck, and he witnessed somebody going through a yard. He sat in the truck until they left, and then he went in and told his mother that they had cut through the yard, and she approached him and told him that she didn't want him cutting through a yard. But I mean, if they're not going, they have posted signs, I have posted signs, and they're still coming up in there. There's no regard, no respect. So
which side of Country Club Road are you on?
we're on the side right behind Cottage Hill. Well, we have pretty deep lots, so our lots are like 450 feet deep, so there's quite a bit of land between us and the houses. There's a little stream back there. There is a swampy area. That's why I say I think we only need a fence around the corner where they're cutting around, because it's fairly easy to get through there, because the swamp turns into a little stream plus they have the bridge there. So I'm not asking for the whole property, but I would like to see something to make it a little harder to get out behind our properties, because last year we had a lot of break-ins in Windcrest, and we're afraid to leave our house unlocked or windows open, because they're coming up in the middle of the night. They're in our yard, so there's no reason for that, and we don't know who lives back there. We have kids that play in our backyards, and we like to feel like they're safe back there. So,
Have you approached it with Rich Skidmore?
Sarah has. So, I can give you. Would you like to read this, or it
Yes.
has signatures on it?
Yeah,
So,
please submit them to the town clerk.
Okay.
Caroline Barber. And
All right, I
if
just
you
a
put your
little nervous.
contact information so I can get a hold of you, Mr. Williams.
Okay, I'll write my name and number on it, and I'll let you speak to
All right.
Sarah.
Okay, thank you. Sarah, do you wish to come forward?
Good evening, my name is Sarah Sullivan. I live at 47 Country Club Road. So I live in the house where the bridge was built directly behind. There is a very substantial path that cuts through the woods to that bridge, and several times I've had problems with people coming through. I would say at least 12 times I've caught people. I've asked them to leave and they laugh at me. And I'm not talking about kids. If it's a bunch of 10-year-olds, I'm not frightened, but I have young children at home who like to play in the backyard. I don't want to watch them the entire time. These are generally people who are 25 and older, who should know better than to trespass. I did call Skimmerhorn's office and I visited the rental office at the Cottage Hill Apartments, townhouses, whatever. The woman at the office basically laughed me away. I did get a number for Skimmerhorn's direct office. I left messages and requested that the bridge at least be taken down because I think that would deter a lot of people, but even now I think they can cross at other points and a fence perhaps would be the best resolution.
Whose property is that bridge on? Do we
So
know?
the bridge, the property that goes directly behind my house is kind of odd. It goes out to Bay Road. I don't recall the number, but it's kind of an old style, maybe Victorian home that's sold. It has 25 acres and the bulk of their land is wetlands, and then it goes back and it has a weird skinny little 50-foot wide strip that goes behind my home, my neighbors to the south, and I believe the Norton's house. And the bridge goes from Skimmerhorn's property, I believe, to that 50-foot wide strip of land that goes to the other
All
property.
right, I'll take a closer look at this, Ms. Sullivan, and
Thank you.
see what we can do. I have Mr. Williams's contact information, and so at least,
We'll keep in touch.
okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else that are present?
Dave Duell, Town of Queensbury Highway Superintendent. I just would like to thank this board for their continued support and recognizing our need to continue to update our vehicle fleet and with our maintenance moving forward. I just want to say thank you for supporting us.
Well,
See you.
while you're up, David, I think you need the thank yous. You gave me a call on Friday evening about 6:30, 7 o'clock. You said, I gotta come over to Hudson Point to take a look at the devastation over there, because the tornado, we didn't know that it was a tornado at the time, but a tornado had befallen that neighborhood. So I immediately came over, and you and I toured the place, and you're right on. I mean, I can't remember such dense devastation
Yes.
of any particular neighborhood, such as the, Hudson Point neighborhood. And then Saturday morning, I met you again to discuss, what we're gonna do to clean up. You discussed how you're already behind because the cleanup this year has been hugely abnormal in terms of the amount. And we've tried to deal with that at the Luzerne Road deposit area with bulldozers and everything else, but we're dealing with it. But we didn't need this. So you and your guys, to help these neighbors out, I was over there this morning too,
Okay.
helping them out. I mean, it's not something we have to do. Our job is to make sure the roads are clear and safe. But we are helping them out with the smaller limbs. Don't give us the heavy stuff. Have your tree people do that, please. We are taking care of some of the limbs over there, and I think it's gonna be a few days, so you're gonna be set back even more. But again, we're here to help as much as we can, so I wanna thank you for all your leadership and everything that you've done to help those people out.
Well, thank you. I'll pass it on to my crew because, the guys are the ones that do the work.
Yeah,
And certainly the taxpayers appreciate it. And they did a heck of a job today. I sent both of my apprentices over there, loaders, with 10 dump trucks, and they did a knockout job today. So
all right.
thank you
Okay,
for the
again,
compliment. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
thank you. Anybody else present like to talk to the town board about any town topic? All right, let's go to YouTube. Any folks at YouTube like to talk to town board about any town topic? You may call in, area code 518-761-8225, and you Zoom people, please wait, but you will get a turn. Right now, it's YouTube and call-ins.
And it looks like YouTube delay has gone down, John. It was only 10 or 12 seconds.
Yeah, all right, that's more normal.
Dave sat down.
All right, so while we're waiting, see, this gives me an opportunity to get my stuff done. So while we're waiting, I got an email. John, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed your stories on the old days in Queensbury during your last town board telecast. As a graduate of Fort Edward in 1972, I finally remember owning a junker field car. What really got my attention was your mention of the airport runway. My friends and I used to skip out on our village curfew. Yeah, Fort Edward used to have a curfew. Borrowing our front parents' car at 1 a.m. and bringing them out to the airport just to see how fast those station wagons would go. We also made friends with your Queensbury classmates and were invited to plenty of rides in the woods over your way. I distinctly remember one of your 15-year-old drivers crashing into a tree, the fender against the wheel. Our driver's remedy was to simply leave the car where we left it. LOL. What the heck? We always can buy another salvage car at West Side, or in my case, the East Side junkyard. Times sure have changed, but I think you would agree with me when I tell my grown kids that I feel that we grew up at the absolute best period of time a kid could grow up in America. Wouldn't change a thing. Thanks again for the memories. I wouldn't share their name unless they agreed to do so, and I didn't get in touch with them in time. All right, so this is YouTube. Call in, area code 518-761-8225. You have caller ID. All right, while we're waiting, Wednesday, June 3rd, 2 days from now, we're supposed to begin phase 2. So, if you go to forward.newyork.gov, it will tell you everything you need to know about phasing in and phase 2. So,
I mean, I'm gonna have to get a haircut?
I have an appointment to get a haircut at 9 a.m. Wednesday. Did you beat me? I think I'm first in line.
You beat me.
Well, you do have to make appointments. You do have to wear masks and social distancing and all kinds of rules have to be abided by. There is a 3-step process. First of all, if you go to this website I'm talking about, they will tell the businesses that could potentially open on Wednesday. You need to review. You need to acknowledge through the website that you have reviewed the requirements, the rules, the laws. And that you also need to set up some rules and post those rules in your business. Or at least have them handy for someone who wishes to inspect. David, is there anything else I should add to phase 2?
No, just please pay attention to what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Yeah, so you can go to this website and it'll tell you everything you need to know. I've got the pages right here, you know. All right, well, I think I've given enough time for anybody that wants to do a YouTube call-in. So now we'll move on to Zoom. I do see 2 people who wish to speak to the town board, and I'm going to take them in order in which I allow. First is Tim McNulty. Tim, can you hear me? Tim McNulty?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Tim.
Fine, how are you today, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. I'd like to take the opportunity to applaud the town board's efforts for full transparency and to reach out to the town via Zoom and all your other opportunities to get people's input and get people's concerns. Going back to the last 2-week-ago meeting when we had the rental discussion, I was impressed by the fact that several town council persons discussed conversations they had with their constituents reference the proposed changes. I think based on an empty chair there, it's obvious to everyone that Ward 4 is still not represented. And I was wondering if you could give an update on the efforts to go forward to reach out to the people that are interested in the job and also for the upcoming election, sir.
Yes, Tim. We're proposing to reschedule the meeting to interview the 5 Ward 4 interested parties, one of whom is present at the town board meeting, and 2 are present with Zoom meetings. I see you. And we're looking at doing the 17th. starting at 6 and maybe going to 8:30 for interviews, allowing about a half an hour per person. So, if the 17th works well for everybody, we'll go with that. So I'll send an email out tomorrow, asking you if the 17th works, okay?
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for that.
You're welcome. Yeah, and we appreciate your interest too. Anything else?
No, thanks. Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, anybody else from Zoom? I did see one little blue hand, now it's not there. Let me see, there's one up here. Travis Whitehead, you did have your hand up? All right. I know Travis knows how to work that.
Maybe answer this question.
Oh, maybe that did. All right, so having no other interested parties to speak to the town board on any town topic?
Excuse me, John.
Yes.
I just had a quick question.
Well, come forward, please. Introduce yourself to the public. You're on Look TV, you're on YouTube,
Yep,
and Zoom.
My name is Brady Stark, and I'm one of the interested parties in the Ward 4 seat.
Yeah.
In relation to Tim McNulty's question, with the meeting in which, let's say the 5 interested parties are with you guys, would that be conducted publicly, or would that be in like an executive session?
Well, the consensus of the town board is that it should be done privately, and there's several reasons for this. One is, we wanted to go in alphabetical order, just to have some arrangement, that the people who got interviewed first, okay, weren't at a disadvantage to those that were interviewed later, because the people who sat around and listened to the other interviews got to know the questions and answers, got to see the facial expressions, got to read us. They have a strong advantage going into the interview later. So that's not fair. But the other thing is that it's an interview process. What we're doing is legal, it's allowed by state law. And we thought that interviewing you individually, you'll be more frank with us, and we might be more frank with you than having the world watch us. Good or bad. There's some good to that, there's some bad to that. I know that, I get it. But we thought in terms of fairness, and the consensus of the board is that's the way we would do that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And it'll be right here, Brady.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, on the 17th, if that works for everybody. I'll send an email out tomorrow. Okay, anybody else? Okay. Town board discussions. Let's start with
Harrison.
Harrison, you want to start?
Well, I'll just, the majority of the board, consensus to me means everybody agrees, but we're still, the majority of the board has agreed to the executive session thing. Consensus is a little stronger word, but in any case, I think the thing that is in my craw right now is that I want to congratulate the Warren County folks for becoming a climate-smart community. However, I wish Queensbury was a climate-smart community.
We are.
Before they, well, we're not certified. So it's on the agenda to get done. We're meeting on June 4th, and we'll get that bronze certification and then work on a silver.
All right, good.
So that's really the news for my activities.
All right. George, anything?
I'm gonna follow up on Harrison's comment regarding consensus of the board on the public to executive session. I relinquished to the will of the board, and I was, based on emails I read, it looked like you and Harrison and Tony were in favor of executive session. I was in favor of having it as an open meeting, so I just wanted to make that clear.
That's fair.
But I wanted to commend the highway department and our superintendent. Just going back to those highway trucks, I mean, replacing a 1998 and 2002, a guy that has 18 and 22-year-old vehicles. I don't think any of us keep our cars around that long. and we have vehicles that are servicing the town, so that's great that you have our vehicles last that long. The other thing I just wanted to mention, I know I talk a lot about Glens Falls Hospital, I do serve on that board, but I just wanted to thank the community for their support of Glens Falls Hospital. I think the folks over there on the front line have really appreciated this. They do continue to serve the folks that do have COVID, and there are a lot of people who are from nursing homes and senior homes and that are in the hospital now with COVID that they're serving. And the other thing you might have heard is, you know, this big news article about, you know, the hospital getting, you know, $21 million. And I just wanted to point out and make sure everybody understood the fact that that was just an advance payment through CARES Act for payments that we would have normally gotten through the end of the year. So it was just a cash flow thing that we got the money up front, but it wasn't like, oh, wow, the hospital got $21 million. We did not. So I would say that if you are supportive of the hospital, and the hospital does have a Glens Falls Hospital Foundation, and you have the wherewithal to make a donation, we appreciate that.
I did.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a good group and a huge community asset. I strongly support it. Anything else, George?
No, thank
No,
you.
thank you. Tony?
Dave, great job, as usual. I went there Saturday morning and didn't stay very long because I was only in the way. But by the time I got there, which was a little before 9,
Yeah.
you know, you guys had most of it cleaned up. Roads were all accessible. Of course, the neighbors weren't too happy, but not with you. They were just not too happy with the situation. So, of course, nobody's happy with the situation which is going on in the world today. One thing I did learn early on this weekend is not to comment, so I'm not going to, but just to say I wish we could all just get along. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Good words of wisdom. Talking about good things. We're doing great in terms of the census. Queensbury, 72.2% of the folks in Queensbury have either done their census documents and sent them in, or done them on the website. That is fantastic. We're way ahead of everybody. And so, you know, we're helping out Warren County, but there's other towns that need to get going. Queensbury's doing great. I want to thank the residents of Queensbury for doing your duty, your census duty. It is being accounted for. The EDC, our EDC has all kinds of, if you're a small business, then EDC will help you with the New York Forward Loan Fund, Warren County Rapid Recovery Loan Program, Glens Falls Local Development Small Business Recovery Fund. They also have all kinds of information available for you on Phase 2 and your reopening. So please get a hold of the Warren County Economic Development Corporation for some assistance. If you need assistance, they're a great organization to go to. Their phone number and contact information is on their website. They have a great website. Also, the Post-Star, I want to give them a bravo for paying attention to Memorial Day. We co-sponsor, along with the city of Glens Falls, a beautiful parade every year. The two communities have been doing this for 20 years. This year, of course, we had to cancel because of COVID-19. However, they gave the right kind of recognition to the students who were able to put together their posters before the schools closed. We do this poster contest with Glens Falls and Queensbury. Glens Falls, Susan Botch just said it was a freak thing. We had ours out of the way early. I got them over to you, and bam, COVID-19 hit. Queensbury, even though they had to, until the beginning of May to get that to us. But as you know, everything closed down in April. So Queensbury didn't get theirs in, but usually Queensbury submits some fantastic posters too. So what we do, we take the winners, first and second winners of each school, so we have 4 posters all together. We have them professionally printed by Glens Falls Printing, and then we post them all over the area. The students are very proud of their work, and we're very proud of the students' work. Memorial Day didn't happen, but if you saw Facebook, I still participated. I drove my 1929 Model A Ford down Glen Street at 10 a.m., just as if the parade was being held. I missed it, and I missed the memory. Memorial Day is a day to recognize those that gave everything to protect our freedoms and our liberties and our way of life. All right, so I want to thank the Post Doc. Okay. See, it's good that I get all this other stuff out of the way.
Yeah,
Very
it's working
nice.
well.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of stuff and count it all together. Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Well, I want to thank Peter Pape, Pape Productions, Joe Barlow, Look TV, the audience, thank you for coming. Town Clerk Caroline Barber, the Town Board, thanks everybody. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Frong, seconded by Councilperson Medevere. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're now adjourned. Thank you, everybody.